Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Lovett Amaka. If you're new here, thank you for stopping, thank you for watching this video, thank you for subscribing, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for sticking around, thank you for watching my videos, thank you for engaging. From the title of the video, you already know what I want to share with you guys, or probably like you have an hint, a hint, sorry. So I think over the months I've tried to share what working as a domiciliary healthcare assistant has looked like, or it looks like, but not really an in-depth, because you don't even have time to be vlogging when you have calls to go to. So guys, I just wanted to share this experience with you guys, or should I say story with you guys. So the thing is, I wouldn't say it's a bad job, because the job itself is not really that bad. It's not something that is stressful. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie at all. But the thing is, there are other aspects of the job that is really, really discouraging. Do you understand? And I just wanted to share with you guys. So I quit my job as a domiciliary healthcare assistant, and that was around I think January, January, ending of January, I think 20, probably 23rd or 22nd of January. Yes, because at that point I was losing it, guys. At that point I wasn't having it, because sometimes do you understand, it's difficult to actually express what is the problem when you're doing this job, because when you go to this service users home, the job is not like what you do for them is really not that stressful. It's not too much. But at the end of the day, let me start with the work hours. Yes, there are some people, if you work in a residential home, you already know that if they say your shift is a 8-hour shift, right, you're paid probably 8 hours. You're paid 8 hours of that job, and nothing is going out of it. Then when maybe if you have a 12-hour shift, same thing. But when it comes to domiciliary, first off, you can spend the whole day. First of all, I think I showed you guys how early I had to wake up. I wake up 5 o'clock. Yes, because I live in South Sheet. I don't actually live in Sunderland. I live in South Sheet, so I have to leave home, wake up 5 o'clock, get ready, then probably get the bus that leaves probably 6:10 or 7 o'clock, or in fact 6:10, because most of the calls and starts by 7 o'clock. You have to be there by 7 o'clock, sometimes 7:30. So I have to follow the 6:10 bus going to Sunderland. Now this is it's really, really draining, because every day you're waking up 5 o'clock. Even if it's you have extra hours, but because of the fact that I live very, very an hour, or let me just say 40 minutes away from Sunderland, it became something that I have I have to wake up really quite early to get to work, and it was really, really draining, guys. Waking 5 o'clock, so sometimes if my alarm sounds, I'm like, God, I can't do this. I'm tired. I'm really, really tired. Sometimes I wouldn't even feel like going to work. Sorry guys, I had to answer the door. My flatmate is back from church. So guys, I said, when I stop, sometimes when the alarm rings, because I'm always putting on alarm every time I have work. Now the thing is, if it's because it's a 20 hours job, right? I do 20 hours as a student, and every time you explain to them that, okay, can you just make this shift, can you give me 10 hours, probably 2 days in a week you can work, I think it's achievable. But because it is domiciliary, most of they don't there's not much people to cover in a particular area, and I was allocated SR6, so I have just few clients in SR6, and SR6 is the closest they could get me, because I live in South Shade. So mind you, SR6 is still in Sunderland. So sometimes when I put on the alarm, I'm like, God, I don't want to go to work. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Now it's so annoying, because you probably leave your house, let's say I leave my house 6 o'clock. I wake up 5 and I leave 6 o'clock. Then at the end of the day, I come back maybe 9 o'clock, 9:30. That's when I close. and then get a bus to what do they call it, to South Shades. So I should be getting home at least 10:30 or so, or 10 o'clock, 10:20, 10:30. So I like, it's really not encouraging, honestly speaking, because if I should check all the calls, how many minutes, because how it works is that each client you're going to their place, right? Each client you're going to their place, you're allocated in your rota, you're going to say that, oh, you're going to spend 15 minutes or 30 minutes with that, like with that individual, with that service user. So maybe let's say 15 minutes are usually like for medications, for people that have medication, or just checking up on them, or maybe giving them their lunch or whatever. Then 30 minutes is for people that you do personal care for, sometimes people that you have to bring, like just give them their lunch, their medication, change their pads if they are wet, and all those things. So at the end of the day, if you spend the whole day, you find out that you have a total of, you've just done a total of maybe 4 hours in a whole day. Guys, it was really draining. Sometimes I would feel so depressed, like I don't want to go to job. But what would you do? Because this is like your survival job. Do you understand? So that was how I was just coping. Even if it's sometimes I go to, like, I leave house 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and I come back 3 o'clock, and then the end of the day when I calculate is like I just the total hours I've worked is just like 2 hours, because some of these calls are 15 minutes, and you hardly get 1 hour calls. Like one person is 1 hour. And then the way it is because they are, maybe let's say in SR6 they have only like 7 to 8 clients. They're not just going to give you all those clients, they just give you some. So at the end of the day, you are doing 2 hours, you spend 5 hours or 6 hours outside, and then the only thing your total money is you are going to be paid for 2 hours job. So it wasn't really encouraging, but I was just doing it because it was just to survive. Do you understand, guys? I was just doing it as a survival job. So that one aside, the pain, like the next thing that was really discouraging was the fact that I have to work. Guys, there's like, people don't lay emphasis on the stress of working, like working from one service user's home to another. Now guys, I think that was what like that was the end of, like, that was when I told myself, see, love it, you can't do this. Like, stronger, you can't do it. Guys, sometimes, like, sometimes this service user might be in this, let's say, this area, then you have to work. The next one that you are going to visit is like maybe 30 to 40 minutes or even 20 minutes away. So you're not entering bus, because nobody is paying you for the, if you enter a box for a 4 hour shift that you have, and then you buy a ticket, like a bus ticket, you're equally just spending on your 2 hours that you just managed to get. Do you understand? So you have to walk from that service user's house to the next one, which can be like 20 to 30 minutes walk, or even more. Guys, sometimes my map is going to be like showing me 10 minutes, and at the end of the day, like, when you start walking, guys, it's even more than 10 minutes. And sometimes I would just be like, God, give me the strength, because I can't do this. So this is how you like work. So if you have, like, because the way they do it is, if you're out in the morning, to that's morning call to is it dinner time call, that's evening call that ends maybe 8 o'clock, bedtime call. That means you're going to go to their place early in the morning to bring them out of the bed, shower them, get them ready for the day. Afternoon calls, where, like, that's around 12 o'clock, you go back there. So you're just rotating the whole area. Like, I was rotating the whole SR6. Do you understand? Like, you are walking about just from one house to another, rounding it. So the same person that you went to their house maybe in the morning, you still go back there in the afternoon to, like, attend to them. Go back in the evening, that's the tea time call, to attend to them. You go back again in the evening, that's bedtime. Put them to bed if they want to, like, if they need going to bed. Sometimes these calls are like single calls where you go on your own. Sometimes this call, like, sometimes it's a double call, that's you go with an individual. But that doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you have more single calls than the double calls. Do you understand, guys? So it was really, really difficult, because you get, like, sometimes I would walk and I'm like, in this cold. Do you understand? In this, like, it's, imagine like it's your first time experiencing how cold this whole environment is, and you're inside the cold. Even when I was inside the house, I'm cold. So imagine walking around in the cold, going from one house to another. Because because it is like, let's say, because it's you're not familiar with the place, they're not always giving you people you are familiar with. Sometimes they can just change your router to new people. Like, so you're there to like figure out, oh, how do I get there? You use your Google Map. Google Map can be taking you to another place, and at the end of the day, it's not even where you're going to. You have to start figuring it out again, and that's just a lot of work, guys. So I think January, yeah, that was the extent. Like, I think no, December, ending of December, getting to January, they changed my router from SR6, which is around Ruka area, to like SR5, which is Southwick. So I'm like, why would these guys, I'm even complaining that I have to leave my house 5 o'clock. I have to wake up 5 o'clock, leave my house 6 o'clock to get a bus coming to SR6, and you guys are changing it to far SR5. It was really difficult. Guys, at this point I was here, like, my energy, you know, that zeal that gets you going, I've lost it at this point. Because I tried going, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it, let me just do it, I need the money. Do you understand? I was just doing it. The first time I was so late, I was rounding the whole Sunderland, guys. I would enter this bus, to connecting buses, just to get to the first place. Now SR5 is even more spread, because you have like the uptown side that is really like up, there's SR5 too that is down. So it was really difficult. Like, at that point I was getting there. Even if I leave my house 6 o'clock, I was getting late, guys, because you have to drive. Like, the only way I could even get up, like get there early, was when I now started leaving 5 o'clock. I would go to the interchange 5 o'clock, and I enter a bus that leaves maybe 5:50. Do you understand? 5:50, just to get to halfway through Southwick. Then I will now start walking to where the first service users house that I'm going to be going to that day. So that week was not it. And I don't know how, but they will not split my, instead of like maybe making it easy for me, maybe giving me a 6-hour shift in a day, like make sure that I cover at least 6 hours, because I need 20 hours in a week. They will not be like, it at the end of the day you have like 4 hours, sometimes 5 hours, sometimes 6 hours. Still it doesn't cover up, because they will still put another day. So sometimes I find out that I'm working like 5 times or 4 times in a week, which isn't supposed to be. Do you understand? I don't know, I'm even paid like, which isn't supposed to be. Do you understand, guys? But they just want to do it. They'll put so many calls, and at the end of the 15 minutes, and they don't pay you for that time you're working to those service users house. Now if you're spending 15 minutes in number 8's house, they are paying you for that 15 minutes only. The time you use in walking to number B service user's house, they are not paying for it. So it's not their business. Their own is just get there, and then number B's house can be like maybe another 15 minutes. Do you understand? Another 15 minutes. So you're just doing 15 minutes, or even less than. Sometimes I'm even upset. I don't know, I shouldn't be upset, but sometimes I'm upset, because by the time there's sometimes where I would walk those distance, and then you get there and it's just one funny thing that you're going to do for them. Some people will even tell you that, oh, they don't need anything, they're okay. And I'm like, God of mercy, I just walked. There was a day, like, so many things were just going on. In fact, when they moved me to SR5, which is Southwick, I started going to that place, because most of their calls are like from 7 o'clock. Do you understand? So Southwick is more farther, because it's like the other way around. So like the bus is like a different bus, it's not even stagecoach. It's like not go northeast or something like that. So it goes round and round, passing through like different routes, just to like reach so many bus stops. And at the end of the day, even if I leave 6 o'clock or 5:50, I probably get there probably 6:50, and then I have to walk a 20-minute or 30-minute walk to that service user's house. So I was now losing it, because some days I didn't feel like waking up. I didn't feel like standing up from my bed. And when you're doing this work, you're feeling like, oh, you're strong. But there was a time I couldn't feel my leg, guys. The pressure just goes to your leg. In fact, every part, because you're in the cold, you're just trying to be fast, because you have to work fast, because they are allocated time. Do you understand? It's not even the fact that you have 30 minutes, you have to be there, or you have a work to do for 30 minutes work to do. Is the fact that you have to be there. Is a allocated time for each service user. Do you understand? There's an allocated time for each service user, so you have to be there. Let's say this service user A is 7 o'clock to 7:30. You have to finish up 7:30 and then move to the next one, maybe 8 o'clock. And then this work is more than 8 o'clock. Like, you wouldn't even, you can't even get there 8 o'clock. And then also another thing that just made me realize that, see, this is not even what it was. Sometimes they put 30-minute calls, and then the demand, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, by the time it's like you do all the things you're supposed to do for that service user to get them ready for the day, you're actually spending more than 30 minutes, but you're not paid for it. That's the honest truth. You're not paid for it. You don't even care. Do you understand? So I might even be like, most times when I was moved to SR, sometimes I am literally very late, because the first person I get ready for in the morning, I spend like 45 to 50 minutes, and that's taken from another person's time. And then the office start calling you that, why are you late? And it's not their business why you're late. They just want you to be in the next person's place. Do you understand? So it was really difficult, guys. There was, in between that time that I was in SR5, like, my whole body was hurting. Usually I was even getting used to waking up early. I was getting fine with it, but the fact that I can't feel my toes, I can't feel my legs, like my legs were hurting. Sometimes I was like, is it the shoe? I would even change shoe, still the same thing, because you're walking too much. There's so much pressure on your leg. So guys, don't mind the noise. My flatmate is cooking. I think he has guests too, so I couldn't feel my legs. Sometimes I'm like, God help me, you. And so there was a time I remember very well. It was snowing. It was the first one. It was even like my first experience, and I was outside in, like, I have evening calls around there, let's say 3 to 5, 4 o'clock. So it was freezing, guys. That was when I started crying, and I called the office and I'm like, I want to go home, please. I want to go home. And they were like, what's my reason? I said, it's really, really cold and I'm not used to it. And I'm not even prepared for it, because what I was wearing, when the snow starts, you don't even know that snow is going. Who even knew that? I didn't even know. Even if I knew, God, what I was wearing that day, even with the jacket and everything, I was not prepared for the kind of cold I was. And Sunderland has, like, that SR5, SR6, they are very close to the sea, so there's this chilling cold and breeze that comes. So I called them and they were like, these people are like inside the office or chilling, just pressing computer, picking calls and doing their stuff. So I told her it's really, really cold. And I think I had few calls. I was out all morning. So it was like time for evening call. That's the tea time and then bedtime call. But I was like, I couldn't do it, please. I want to go home. I'm really, really cold. I'm freezing. So they were like, I couldn't go home. The response they gave was really, really discouraging. Like, I couldn't go home. That even them, they are cold. How can you be cold? You're in the office, there is heater. Like, what did they call it? There's heater in your office. You can't, like, there's no sympathy. Let me just use the word. And this is not like, I'm not generalizing it. I'm not even generalizing it, because there are other companies that their staff knows how to, like, talk to you, encourage you, but it was different, honestly speaking. So I was like, God, I just took the courage. I did that job. At the end of the day, I just told myself, see, you will not kill yourself. Because in fact, a week to Christmas, I called them and I was really sick, and I called in. I was like, I'm sick. And they were like, no, January. Around 16th of January or so. I called in and I was like, I'm sick. And they were like, what's wrong with you? Because it was a back-to-back shift, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They even gave me like break for Friday and then Saturday, Sunday. Do you understand? Just spreading my shifts. You spend 5 hours and then the end of the day you have 1 hour. You just did 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes. So I was like, God, I was sick. And they were like, why? I said I was sick. They were like, no, that's not an excuse, and I must do the next day job. Like, there's no argument about it, because it doesn't make sense that I'm sick. Like, do you understand? It doesn't make sense that I am sick, that I have to do the job. And I when they said it, here you just have to look out for yourself, and that is something I'm really, really learning, especially when it comes to work life. You have to, like, look out for yourself in every possible way. So she said, no, I have to, like, do the job, or what. I ended the call. I'm like, okay, now, as in calm girl that I am, I easily I like it's really difficult for me to actually say no. Like I understand things really easily, but I spoke to myself and I know this people can't treat me like this. You can't treat me. I'm really sick and I don't want to do tomorrow's job. And I'm calling you earlier I'm calling you today to inform me that tomorrow I might not be out because I'm not feeling too well. Even now that I'm doing this job, and they were like, no. I I just that day I was not doing my job. I finished the first, second, third call. I called them back and I'm like, no, you can't talk to me like that. I am not feeling too well and I'm not going to be working tomorrow. And I don't understand why you feel like you would treat me that way. Like, why is it that because this is not like the first time, plenty times you would call and then maybe they should take off some shifts, maybe you start a reasonable time, they will tell you no, all those things. So I'm like, why are you even telling me that? Like, I don't like the responses they give to me. Is it because I am different? Do you understand? If you know, you know. So that was when she died. Oh, okay, no problem, I'm going to take off that calls for me, all those things. I'm like, okay, oh, that was it. So that Southwick event, because like during the time I was trying to like meet up with time, especially because Southwick was far, SR5 was far from me. I usually end up late for my second call. And then, guys, what happened was that one particular day I went to this service user's house. He has a wife or something, and then she lashed out so bad, like the way she was talking, like insulting her husband that was even like really actually sick, was just saying they should call the office, they should tell them I'm always late, that he doesn't like, when now when somebody is just doing bad maths for you and now you're not even having it because first of all your leg is paining you. They were just saying they call the office, I'm always late, in fact I should go outside, in fact I should go and do this one, this one, this one. The husband was just shouting that they should call this one, that he doesn't like this girl. They should call the office and tell them that they don't like this girl. She's always late. What. I'm just in my mind, I was just saying, these people don't know the sacrifices I'm even making to be here. Like the fact that I have to leave my house very early and still come, like spend more time in the first service user, which is not even my fault because they are not realistic to actually know that this person needs more time, but because they want to like find their way through it, they will still ask you to do it and then you're late for the next one. So after they rained down insults, guys, I started crying. I'm like, no, because I was already really like tired, exhausted. I was like, no. So I called the office. I'm like, I'm going to put in my resignation for 23rd of January and I am not working again, please. They didn't ask me why, what is wrong, because I think by the time you know the whys and you what's wrong or not, all those things, at least it gives you an insight of how you can improve your service. They didn't ask me all those things like what is wrong, why are you leaving us, and all those things. They just ended, like they just like, oh, just send us your resignation letter on your email, and that was just it. That was how I stopped working, January 23rd. Yes. So I think if you're coming to the UK and then probably, I don't know, but if you're coming to the UK and you think, because the job itself, what you do is not actually stressful, but the fact that you have to really leave home at odd time and you have to meet up, there's so much sacrifices you're putting into that job. At the end of the day, it's not even paying, because after you leave home 5 o'clock, now 4 hours you totally just doing a whole day of 5 hours. It's so discouraging. So the only way I think you can enjoy this job is probably getting a car. Yeah. So if you're doing domiciliary, even like if you're doing domiciliary or maybe something you would come across, I think the best thing is getting a car. At least you can manage it if you have a car, and it should be somewhere around you, somewhere in your locality or where you live. It's easier that way because it's something you can trek to. You don't need a bus or anything. But for people that have to like go to another town or another city to like do the job, it's really difficult, and then you're working, it's actually difficult. So maybe just get a car. Especially for people, I even know that, like, for people, I'm just imagining if you're here on a sponsorship visa as a domiciliary healthcare assistant and you don't have a car. Hey God, I don't know what you're doing, because you're working full time. Me that is even doing 20 hours and complaining. So do you get? So I think having a car is one thing, honestly. In fact, in every aspect of this UK life, generally, having a car is really, really important. And the thing is, it's not even expensive. Thank God. Getting a car here is not actually expensive. You can get something on your own budget, which is very fair. So guys, that was just it. I can't count, like, the reasons why I left are really much. Is it the fact that on Christmas Day, there are times where the buses are not even coming through, especially when you close from work. Especially for me, I'm really like saying especially for me, because I don't live in Sunderland. At least if you live in Sunderland, you might find your way through. But me, that I have to take a bus back home, like 40 minutes, 1 hour ride back home. It's really, really difficult. Sometimes I think January, I think it was New Year Eve, Christmas Eve, I was out for work. I didn't know that there was not going, that is like buses won't be functioning at a certain time on that Christmas Eve, and I went to work. And the thing is, I always tell them that I think there's no bus, and they will tell you yes, there's a bus. They would insist that there's a bus, and then you go and you're stranded. That day I spent £14.80 getting back home, guys, after I've just done a 2 hours job. So in my mind, I was like, see, you guys are going to refund me. That was what I thought. I'm going to get a refund from the company. Guys, I sent them an email. With a proof of how much I spent because I think that day, because my colleague already told me there was not going to be any bus. So when they put that shift for me, I was like, guys, please, oh, I heard there's not going to be any bus, and they were like insisting that, oh, the E6 is working and I will have to go. There's no problem, that E6 is functioning. They just confirmed it, only for me to get to work, because during the time that I'm going to work, they are working. Then the time I'm finishing, that was around 8:30, and it was raining, guys. It was raining really bad. There was no bus. I stood there 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30. That was when it now dawned on me that, oh, there's no bus coming. No, before somebody now told us that, people are waiting for a bus, there's no bus. So is it that they've gone for strike or something like that, or the timetable has changed because of Christmas? This thing happened like 2 or 3 times during this period of celebration. They always insist I go to work, that there's going to be a bus, and at the end of the day, there's no bus. And I paid, like, there's a time I even pay, I think after Christmas, Boxing Day, they did the same thing. I had to pay £16 to get back home. When I sent them the taxi proof and everything, the only thing the manager could tell me was, unfortunately, the company can't bear that loss. Do you understand? Unfortunately, they can't bear that loss. Unfortunately, they can't bear that loss. And I'm like, God of mercy. Whew. That was how all these events just made me just make up my mind to stop working, and I did, guys. So right now, these people, I don't know, this is my first come out, sorry guys. So right now, your girl is just jobless. Let me say I'm jobless for the time being, because I can't stress myself. I'm not saying the job is bad. I'm going to repeat myself. The job itself, that's the duty you do, like personal care and everything, they are not really difficult. But the fact that you're working from one place to another is not something you're going to enjoy. So the option is get a car. So if I had known that, okay, these are jobs I would get, I probably have planned, like, have money to, like, buy a car, because I have a friend's friend that is coming, and he's like, oh, he has the money separate for getting a car because he's coming with his family. And I was like, nice idea. Like, you need a car in this UK for literally everything, because you might be getting a job offer in another town, maybe 30-40 minutes far. You need a car to, like, get your way through it, and you're fine. Do you understand? You don't have to wake up early, you don't have to do all those inconveniencing things and all those things. So guys, I just wanted to share this experience. You guys should just, I don't know why I'm even sharing, but I just thought to share, because why not? This is my experience and I'm sharing it with you guys. Hopefully I get a better job. Hopefully I get, because honestly speaking, until maybe I get a car, I'm not doing domiciliary care. Nah, never again. So that is just it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you learn 1 or 2 things. I don't even know what is to be learned, but that's my experience and I wanted to share. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys. Bye.